I'm starting where it all falls apart. Tila is late for dinner. We meet twice a week, once at her place and once at mine, though lately it's always been at my apartment in Inner Sunset. She says she's staying late at work, but I never know if that's true. I hate it when she keeps secrets. It used to be that we couldn't. Outside, fat drops of rain drum against the glass window. The sunset has faded to darkness, a few stars just bright enough to shine through the San Francisco fog. I pace across the living room, peering at the blurred view of the city skyline, the green shimmer of the algae farms in the bay, the lights of the hover cars flying past. I paid a lot extra to have the penthouse for this view, but at the moment it does nothing for me. All I can do is be irritated at my sister. Back in the kitchen, I push the curls from my face. I use my auditory implants to ping Tila, but there's no response. I turn on the wall screen, but the moving images and sounds irritate me and I shut them off. The scar on my chest twinges. It's psychosomatic. There's no way it could actually hurt, not after so many years. I rest my fingertip on the top of the rough line of healed skin. It's been almost a decade to the day since the surgery. I sigh and set out the food, the time flashing in the corner of my ocular implants until I send it away. Her shift at Zenith supposedly ended over an hour ago. She works at the hostess club at the top of the Trans Am pyramid. Not a bad gig, but not for me. I don't think I'd be as good at pretending. I've made Tila her favorite curry, adapted from a recipe from the hearth. I could have ordered it from the replicator in the corner of the kitchen, but I needed the distraction of doing something with my hands. It's time to tell her I quit my job this afternoon, and I accepted a new job offer I couldn't refuse. In China. I don't know if Tila will want to come with me, or if she should. The doorknob turns. I stand and rub my palms along my skirt. Tila flies in, disheveled and wild-eyed. Her short teal hair is wet and plastered to her skull, contrasting with my brown curls. Her clothes are flashy where mine are plain. Her face is different than mine now, too, from trips to the flesh parlors. They're not drastic changes, but we no longer look identical. It isn't until she rushes to me and clutches the front of my shirt on either side of my scar that I realize she's covered in blood. She's wearing a man's coat I don't recognize, and it gapes open, dripping onto the floor. Her light blue dress is splattered red, the rain smearing it into a garish watercolor. My mind takes a beat to process it. Are you hurt? I ask, trying to pull back to go for the first aid kit. But if it's that much blood, she might need more than bandages. Fear rushes through me, and I can't seem to catch my breath. She doesn't answer right away. Her mouth flaps open and then shuts. She lets go of me, backing away from the door. Not my blood. You have to help me, T. Oh, God, you have to help me. I tense. Not my blood. If it's not your blood, whose is it? My breath comes faster, hitching on the inhale. My sister feeds off my fear, grabbing my shirt so hard the fabric rips. What the hell is going on, Tila? I ask. Expressions of fear and guilt flit across her face like shadows. Please, Taema, please, I have to get out of the city right now. Both of us do. Hide out somewhere. The Sierras? If only Mana's Hearth would let us claim sanctuary. Mana's Hearth is exempt from Pacifica jurisdiction. That she would mention going back, despite everything that happened 10 years ago, and that she wants to bring me too, is what tells me just how serious this is. Tila, slow down! What have you done? I haven't done anything, Taema. It didn't happen the way they'll say. I can see the whites of her eyes, the tension lines around her mouth. Despite her surgery, her face reminds me too much of that last day in Mana's Hearth, when we thought we would die in that redwood forest. The tips of my hands tingle and my vision swims. Okay. I force myself to try and calm down. What haven't you done? Sirens sound outside the high-rise apartment. I startle. You hardly ever hear them in San Francisco anymore. They're growing louder. Tila presses against me. Oh God, they've found me. Must have tracked my very chip. I knew I should have torn it out. Can I hide? There must be somewhere I can hide. Her panic is infectious, but I have to be the pragmatic twin she expects, the twin she needs. No point. All the police will have infrared sensors. If you didn't do this, then it'll be fine, right? They'll take you in for questioning and then let you go. I don't want to be the calm twin. I want to grab her, shake her, demand she tell me what has happened and whose blood she's wearing. Tila only sobs, resting her hand just below my collarbone, right on my scar. I rest my hand on hers. I can feel the mechanical beating of her heart. Despite our obvious terror, our hearts beat at their same steady pace. It'll be all right, T, I say. I promise. She looks at me, dangerous and untamed. I barely recognize her. You can't promise that, T. You can't promise that at all. Red and blue lights flash outside the window. A police hovercar floats outside the balcony, rain falling off its sides. The searchlight illuminates the room, paralyzing us in the bright beams. 3 police jump down onto the tiny balcony, their boots splashing in the puddles on the concrete. Tila's shaking, burrowing close to my side. I wrap my arm around her, but I'm shivering just as badly. They open the sliding glass door, but too hard. The glass shatters. Fragments spill into my living room as if the rain outside has crystallized. SFPD,